morning, everybody. All right, this is going to be a live update. I got a few teaching videos that I'm still, going to work on. I don't know if I'll upload the teaching video today. I think I'm doing Samuel. And then I made a video yesterday, being I can talk this way because I'm going to upload these. These are my little live updates. And I just prayed, and I wasn't going to make a video. And I got up very early, but had a good prayer time. Friday prayer, praying for Alton. At the end, I was resisting making a video. I've probably been praying for about maybe a few hours already. And it's much, after I preached or did a video yesterday at the ranch, and we covered Samuel and all. That one's going to go up in a day or two. It's interesting. I'm thinking of this now. I'm sure my daughter and Lulu probably don't. Because what I do is, the other day when I went last week to the ranch, there's a little prayer spot. And I used to walk that ranch for hours early in the morning. Just pray. And I had like a little prayer spot out in the wooded area. But my daughter couldn't find me because I was laying down on the grass. I did it yesterday and fire ants bit me. Because when I lay down, just out away from everything, in solitude. And so I think they could think I'm a little, Dad's got some of his stuff going on. But I was just laying on the couch before I made the video yesterday. And my daughter saw the tattoo, so I had to keep explaining it. That I'm not going to keep explaining it. It's just basically because a lot of my friends, they get the tattoos when they associate with the groups, the gangs, and some regret it and they want to get rid of them. So I did this as sort of like you can get a Christian one, and Lance wants to get one already. Okay, so that's the purpose, right? I thought about that for a while, and I posted the pictures of CCOM because my friend, that one picture of the wallet, my friend David Buenteo, back in the early days, used to preach to his dad in the jails, and then he became part of a little church in Kingsville. So when he was in prison, he made me this wallet. And it says Corpus Christi Outreach Ministries. And then I posted the painting of my friend Mike, who did the tattoo, and that's the painting. So I tried to show you some of the art that my friend said. There was also a picture. A lot of the guys in prison that I worked with for many years, they did a lot of time, 70 years, 8 years. And they work in leather shops, and they send envelopes with verses on them. So I saved all those. But I was just laying at my daughter's house, kind of like totally out of it. And then I wondered if she thought I was going to speak, do our meeting. I said, okay, let's do it. And then I did about an hour almost. And I looked normal, fine. And then after I'm done speaking, I kind of because we drive around Allison, and I'm like, people that are around me, they'll see, like when I teach like this, I look absolutely normal. And it's not a game, it's not fake. And then when I'm done, I'm like okay, so I understand that there are gifts that you have, whether it's speaking, preaching. I watched that Glenn Campbell documentary, and he was suffering from Glenn Campbell had that Parkinson's. But I seen when they did a study on him, and they said it was amazing. It was a great documentary, but it was an amazing thing how, when he got on stage, they always wondered, and this is not a stage, but when he was functioning in his musical gift, he remembered all the words, and the people around him were like, the people that watched his concerts thought, oh, he's doing okay. But no, it was just when he was functioning in his gift. And so that happens with me. And I just brought that up. Robin Williams, he committed suicide, Robin Williams, but I watched a little thing on him, and they said, it was a news thing, the man who was his photographer. They said right before he got on stage, this was this week, I saw it on the news, they said he was almost like in a trance. He was almost like just sitting there, totally, and then they said as soon as he got on, and so there's sort of a truth to all that. I wanted to just do this update because I was upset. I wake up when I'm going to pray, and then I start getting upset like I'm going to speak on an issue. So I had that going on, but I managed to have a really good prayer time. It's 6 o'clock. Let me say, you know, the man who took the video, the man who uploaded the video of the Alton Sterling shooting. Alton Sterling is the black guy who was shot in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And I had already commented that I think those cops, you know, they had a call about a man with a gun, which was Alton Sterling. Supposedly he had showed it to somebody in front of the store, like a homeless guy, basically saying, maybe this is my turf, Alton Sterling was saying, and I don't want you hanging out, and so forth. And that's how the call came in. Now, they're investigating that, okay? And then I saw another shooting yesterday. It looked bad. Now, I'm not sure if it made it to the world news, but I saw it on Democracy Now!, and they cover it. NBC covers a lot of the shootings. And it was a black guy. Now, look, when you see these videos, obviously they stir people up. But it was a black guy that got out of the vehicle. And I think he wanted to do suicide by cop. I'm not sure when this shooting happened, but the video just came out. I saw it yesterday. And the cops that showed up, 2 white cops, they killed him. Yes, they shot him. But you see the dash cam video of the officers. And the black guy is walking up to the cops with one hand behind his back. I don't even know the name of this latest incident that video came out. And the cops are saying, take your hand from behind your back. We're going to have to shoot you. We're going to have to shoot you. Take your hand. Well, they do shoot him. Then when he's on the ground, they keep telling him, take your hand out. We're going to shoot you again. We're going to shoot you. Now, those cops did not want to shoot that guy. But it's one of those things now. It's going to look bad because I think he was not armed. But he was maybe wanting them to shoot him. Okay? That's just one I saw again yesterday. And when I heard the cops saying, because he was walking up to them slowly with a hand, look, and they're telling him, they said very plainly, we're going to have to shoot you. All right? When I just turned my phone on, my conservative friend, I'm laughing a little, because all the texts that I got yesterday, you know, I keep the phone off at night. Then it shows up at the top of the screen. And my conservative friend, he's very anti-Black Lives Black Lives Matter. He's against that. Very pro-conservative and all. And so any shooting, you know, and so do you get mad, John, because you read your friend's texts, which are like super conservative, like those, you know, black people, almost like those blacks deserve it. That's kind of how radical he is. I don't get mad at him because I understand that's, so when you see me upset on the videos, I'm talking to a broader audience, and this is what I wanted you to see. The Alton Sterling video was uploaded by a black musician. Now, the black man has a couple of websites because he's, I don't know his name, but that's the Alton Sterling video. And he uploaded it on his websites because he has a platform because he's involved in musical talent. But he also is outspoken about police abuse. Now, he worked at a base, a military base, as a civilian. I'm very familiar with that. You know, I have a Navy base right here where I live. And because he uploaded that video, and he doesn't live in Louisiana or Baton Rouge, but I think he was from that area, the cops came the same day when he tried to get on the base. where he works. Now this I saw on Democracy Now, and I don't know if the news showed it. And of course he uploaded the video of the shooting of Alton Sterling. So when the cops came, he went to the base, like he was going to go to work, and he had his, you get on with an ID, but if you don't have your ID and you're working for a contractor on the base, there's various ways you get on. But he was working on that base. And they held him at the gate. And then a bunch of cops showed up. Federal, all types of things showed up. And as he's standing there, he's going to work. And he realized what's going on. And then they arrested him. And he said, "What are you arresting me for?" And I think he had an old assault charge going back many years. And they initially said, for an assault and battery. It's very possible that those police tried to contact maybe the victim 5 years prior. Said, "Look, we want to charge him." What those cops did, which was illegal, they targeted him because he uploaded the video. And they went and contacted the other police department in the state and the city that he's working for. You see now, this is organized harassment. This is what I tell you. The average person, and even my gang friends, do not have the capability to contact the police department in another city or state. Do you know, when I go to New Jersey, it's very possible for any police in any other city, in any other state, to get on the phone and to just call the North Bergen Police Department and say, "I'm Officer so-and-so out of the Corpus Christi Police Department. And we have someone in your city. We just wanted to give you a heads up. And this is his name. Just keep an eye out. He's got a DUI and all that." Do you know how easy it is to do that? Which is illegal to do unless it's legitimate. And then the resources that you have, just because you're an ass, all of a sudden puts that other department, even in a city where I grew up as a kid, that they go out looking. Of course, they give them the driver's license number of the vehicle. Nobody has that potential. So you friends of mine that say there's 1% bad cops, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't understand there's a systemic manipulation of the system. So become educated before you say there's only 1%. And you might have had a family and friends of cops and you have no idea. Become educated before you speak. Because even the very weak that most of you are holding to that belief don't understand there's a systemic problem. So they went and arrested this black musician working at a base, and then they could not get the former person, I guess, that had an assault charge on him years before. So they held him, and he asked, I saw the interview yesterday, he said, "Why are you holding me?" Then they realized they couldn't get him on the assault, so he had some unpaid traffic tickets. And they held him maybe for 24 hours. And he owed maybe $1,000 on unpaid traffic tickets. So what that was official oppression. That wasn't a 1% bad cop. That was cops that were pissed off that a citizen uploaded that video. And that was an organized criminal activity is what that was. Because they were mad. There's one person that just went to prison in the shooting or the death of Eric Garner in New York City. There's one person that went to jail this week. I don't know if you know that. Out of the death of Eric Garner in New York, the person who took the video. Now, the reason he went to jail, yes, he had a history of problems. Just like you can go to any city, and a lot of the guys I work with got histories of. So they went focused on that. And you say, but John, if they got him, they targeted him because he took the video of the killing of Eric Garner. You say, but he had all those things. Let me tell you, there are many cops. with all of those same criminal things that don't even get charged. Because I explained that the system, there was an officer who was off duty here in Texas, and he shot and murdered 2 people at a club. And all the witnesses said he was drunk, and all the witnesses outside, they didn't know he was a cop. They said some guy just murdered 2 other people in cold blood. That's what the witnesses said. And this officer from Texas, his case went to the grand jury. And in front of the grand jury, they testified that he was not drunk, it was self-defense, and he was an off-duty officer upholding the law, and the other people were drunk. But that was contrary to what the witnesses at the scene said, and they didn't know he was a cop. Then later, they didn't indict, he's still on the job. They found out the local paper in Texas, whatever city that was, it was not Corpus Christi, for a Freedom of Information request, they finally got the investigation on that cop. Sure enough, he was drunk. And the department knew it, yet they lied at the grand jury. They said, how could you have done that? They said, well, it was a union investigation. And a union investigation acts as a defense for that officer. So then the newspaper, I think it's Dallas or something, one of these big cities in Texas, they said, but why didn't you investigate it as a DUI, alcohol? It's because they waited. They let the guy sit around for hours before the alcohol got out of the system. Then they did the check. It was a whole manipulation. So I'm just letting you know, the officers who arrested the guy who videotaped Eric Garner, he finally went to jail this week. He had crimes, but they have crimes. But their crimes they're not accounted for. So don't ever say there's 1%. It's a systemic thing. Most of you didn't even know the guy who uploaded the Alton Sterling video, they did that to him this week. You didn't even know that, did you? The ability to contact another department across the nation. Nobody has that capability. What about the stories of the judge? This was a judge. He was going through a divorce. This is true. This is true. It's a few years ago. I think it was California, West Coast. So he had a cop put like a few hundred pounds of marijuana, taped it to the bottom of her vehicle. She also, they found out later, they also put a tracking device on her vehicle. An officer worked hand in hand with a certain judge. Well, they got that woman. This judge, it was a judge's wife, ex-wife. She went to prison. She swore that they set her up. Now, once the system processes you through, you're a judge, you're a prosecutor, you're a cop, that's all it takes is a few guys, good old boy network. She was in prison for a few years, saying, I can't believe it. The wife of the judge. Finally, it was exposed. And they got it. They busted. Now, all of that, I could give you on and on and on and on. That is not 1%, people. It's a systemic problem. It's a systemic problem. So I just want to give you this little update, because that's just one. I'm going to post this in a few minutes, and then I'm going to work on the actual teaching post. I'm uploading a lot of those old videos, Facebook, so I'm putting the dates on them. Look, some of them might be, I'm not reviewing them, I'm just uploading them, just to have them in case the YouTube thing messes up. They're going to be on Facebook uploaded, not just a link. So there might be ones that, why are you uploading that? It might be an update, because I don't know. Some of the things that I title update, I actually taught on, so I'm not reviewing them. So if it's something that is, I upload an old video from 2015 and it seems like it just says update, then if it's not important and you look at it or you don't, but some of them I know I taught on, and I'm not going to review each one to see which one has value. No, I'm going to just upload everything, because I start uploading it and then I do work, and then when it's finally uploaded, I go to the next one. All right, and, I read an article, we'll end on this. This is a Friday morning, okay? I read an article, I was going to keep it, I probably got it in my paper here, but it was Billy Sunday. There's a man by the name of Murphy Givens, and Murphy Givens there's a really good history of this area. One of my homeless friends, Tim, I refer to as Carpenter Tim, he reads the Murphy Givens articles, and he's a historian for South Texas, Corpus Christi. And back in I guess the 30s, I forget the date, but there was a famous preacher that I'm familiar with. His name was Billy Sunday. And so Murphy Givens said, Billy Sunday, he covered how he preached here, a famous revival. Billy Sunday was very famous, used to be a pro baseball player, and he left the sport because he was converted and became a preacher. And Billy Sunday is known as one of like the real famous fundamentalist Baptist type preacher guys. And he was a good man, Billy Sunday. But Murphy Givens, who wrote the article, said how they rented a building, that streets were closed. It was a very big event for the city. And then he gave like 5 famous quotes. Billy Sunday was known for like just quotes. They gave 5 famous quotes from Billy Sunday that he gave in Corpus Christi. One of them stuck with me. It said, basically, you cannot serve God and mammon, which is a theme of a lot of my videos, okay? So I like that. That's a word to us here, to the Church of Corpus Christi, that we're going to resist money, the servant of money. But God blesses us. He's going to prosper us. But yet, that's not what it's about. So that's a word from Billy Sunday, okay? Well, let me just pray for you guys. Father, I pray you bless all of our friends today. And as we just upload this little update, let them see some of the things maybe they were not aware of, some of the stuff I even gave them today. So let them see that. Let them perceive it. I bless each one in Jesus' name. Amen.